Have we got
Evening, guys.
the have you got the things at the top of your screen telling you the
How many people?
lights? Yeah, I've
Yeah.
got one on.
Yeah. That one person what's actually in the background is actually me. I do it so then I can read the chat at the same time. You get what I mean?
Yeah, the chat's terrible on this, isn't it? It just disappears on you if you're not straight on it.
And if it goes fast, the amount of people, I don't like ignoring people. I like trying to interact with everyone.
Yeah, that's the thing, like, innit?
I think it's kind of rude, but everyone deserves to be recognised, don't they?
Well, that's it, isn't it? Like, you're here to talk to people, so I never get that. When you're like on a live and you're asking questions and just no one's listening.
Hi guys.
So I've sorted my tank out for tomorrow, Rob.
Yeah.
I'm getting a 4 by 2 foot deep by 30 inches tall tomorrow with a sump, 100 litre sump. It's like 500 litres in total.
That's a sump and a half, that.
Yeah, like this tank here is 100 litres, and it's like, but it's really short, the sump, but it's like really tall, you know what I mean? So like, but I think you lose half the volume until it fills. Like if you turn the tank off and it fills.
Yeah.
But I haven't run the likes of the return pump and stuff for like good 5 years now, maybe. It was 2020. So, good evening.
Hello, Sarah.
Sarah. I was
Having to
looking at
learn the
people's
names.
and I'm like,
oh, I'm getting there slowly. Getting there slowly, Keith.
It's hard, isn't it? Like at first, like trying to I'm terrible. Like I can remember a face forever. Like if I see someone,
I'm the same. I'm the first person. That's how I identify people in real life. If I can always put a face to a name, but getting me to remember names is not easy.
No, I just constantly like everyone. I walk to the local village for food in the day, and everyone will be like, "All right, Keith," and I'll be like, "Hiya, mate." I don't know anyone's name. I've been to school with them and everything and worked with them, and it's terrible names. Wow. Let me tell you something about tonight.
There's another person joined us.
3 of us, 5 in total. Well, Rob's 2 with him.
Oh, there's now 11.
Wow. Flying.
That jumped up. Don't forget to hit that like button, guys.
That jumped up big time, didn't it?
It did. Like somebody had shared it, maybe.
Let's hope so. I should have shared it before we went on, to be fair, but
don't worry, guys. We will talk. We will talk all things fish and maintenance and test kits and a little bit of everything.
Hello, Rachel. Is it Rachel?
Rachel Hogarth. Hola.
Hello.
Hello. I can't make that out. Is that Manchester? Hey. These are all new. These are all new. I'm on 22, Keith. What's going on?
22, yeah.
What?
Rachel sub.
FFL, that's a record.
I know that's flying, that, isn't it?
That's that fish family link, mate. Honestly, it's changed. It's changed my lives.
Yeah, it's flying, isn't it?
Thank you, Rachel. Big respect.
Have you been doing any maintenance today?
No, I've slept the day away, mate, because I spent till 8 a.m. this morning watching lives. Just sitting back and watching people do stuff, because I take a lot from that.
Yeah, it's like what's it called, muscle memory, when you're watching other people do stuff.
100%, yes.
You ever see that New York Stilo, the YouTube channel, the Marine Keeper?
George Marvikat.
I don't know his name. I just know him as New York
American
Stilo.
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got the pond in his basement.
Yeah, when I first got me, what do you call it? When I first got me marine tank, I just watched all his content and just basically did everything he done. And like, it's just fascinating because he explained everything perfectly. It wasn't like over indulgence his explanations. It was just spot on, and he just knew exactly what he was talking about. And it was just that easy to follow his instructions.
Yeah. See, now the amount of people has dropped down to 10.
Yeah, there's kind of a lag, so it'll kind of
Yeah,
up and down
yeah.
in chunks.
Yeah, there's definitely a lag. Hello, Marie.
Hey, Marie. Hello.
We will be
20.
talking all things fish. Oh, Davey's live.
James live. Horizon Fish Keeping's live. Well, he was live. Was it this morning or yesterday morning? The screen quality is brilliant on this. Humber Koi.
Yeah, it's much better.
Yeah, definitely. Like I can see depth in the camera. Whereas
Yeah,
on stream
yeah.
now, it's all
You get more visual depth. Yeah, 100%.
far better, I think. It's live.
It's about fish. Atiensh,
Fish.
Patel. It's about fish. All things fish and aquatics. Hello, Umbercoy.
Anything. And whatever pops up in the chat, fish related or aquarium related.
I'll just flip my camera and I'll kind of show these guys what it's all about for me. All things
Show
this.
some,
All things fish. Tanks
Umbercoy's
everywhere.
in the chat. St. Ginger.
Hello, Zen.
Good evening, everyone in the chat, or good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are.
I'll still talk to you,
Keith.
Keith, I'm still going to talk to you, but I'll leave it like this for a little bit because then people can see it is about fish and talking.
Yeah, I mean, give people something to look at, don't it?
Yeah.
So do you, how long have you had them?
I got these now 8 months ago.
8? Wow.
Yeah. And this is what they've all made. The colonies in every corner. They've sectioned themselves to a new family over there, and you've got some little siblings actually looking after the babies. It's amazing to see. But they're just prolific. They're just prolific.
On my Instagram, I had a like a 4 foot by 2 foot Lake Tanganyika tank, and on the left hand side, I had a big rock structure. It's probably about maybe a foot and a half tall, and I had Bichardi in there. And within about 3 months, I had Bichardi in there. I had them over the other rock structure, fighting with me. I had them fighting with me shell dwellers. I had Salmatochromous temporalis shell, which they didn't really go in the rocks ever. Not the rocks. They lived in the rocks instead of in the shells. Like I never really got them in the shells. There's the fish farm link in the chat. So yeah, but I had them in both rock structures, and then I took the parents out now to try and stop them breeding.
Yeah.
And then more. So I had them in this tank, actually, exactly the same tank as this. And then I had them breeding in that tank. I had another lot paired off in the other tank, started breeding again. And the bulkhead overflow, they all went down into that and they were breeding in that. And these Bichardi were living the whole life vertically, like swimming up and down a bulkhead.
Hardy fish. Hello, Christine.
Like, the way they were just like, they must have lived the whole life vertically because I had all the overflow pipes and everything in there. There was no room for them to swim horizontally, so they must have been like that the whole life.
Literally, yeah. I've seen them go up against some of them. Some of them tend to swim up against this and stay there.
Yeah, I'm wondering because the rock dwellers aren't they? So I'm wondering whether they live on cliff faces,
like your Julie de Chromis, almost like your Julie de Chromis, where they can stay there vertical for ages, just as long as they can. Not suction, but just gently put the fins in a right way, and they can just like pretty much stay there.
Yeah, I had what else did I have in the tank with them? I had Lalupi, near Lampologus, or is it Lampologus Lalupi or Lalupi? They were a cool little fish. I had 2 of them. Well, the last 2 in the shop. Go on, sorry. What are we saying, Rob?
No, carry on, mate.
So yeah, I bought the last 2 in the shop, and I was meant to get more, but like they lived under the cave, under the rock structure that Bichardi had, and they were like one of them lived under there, and it just spent every day digging under it, and the other one thought it was a frontosa. So I had my frontosa in the tank, and it just swim around with the frontosa all the time. It stayed in their school, and it was just surreal to watch this little Lalupi think it was a frontosa. and then the other one spent its day digging, and then one day it went missing, and it wasn't until about 3 years later when it saw the tank down, its little skeleton was stuck under the rock wedged. And the sad thing about it was I'd put all the rock in first, before I put any. So it was all the rock was sat straight on the tank glass at the bottom,
Yeah.
and
To
it
the bottom.
somehow,
Sims. Yeah, unfortunately, it happens. They're as much as them being a hardy fish, they're a pretty can be a little bit docile.
yeah, but like,
I've seen a rock. I've seen a piece of lava rock. They took all the sand from underneath it, and then it
yeah,
just fell over. And that was to the bottom of the tank. Fortunately, it didn't break.
yeah, it's mad, isn't it? What they can do, like the because they don't have moved some substrate as well around the tank, don't they? Like if I look at my
Yeah,
old pictures of my tank,
yeah. You could see here all they've made little mounds look,
yeah. Well,
and then
I think mine,
the look. And then I take you to these, Brashadi. Look what these have done to this tank.
yeah,
And there's fry in there as well.
that's
That's
what
just a
mine was like.
generic
That
25-litre tank. I
25
took them
liters.
out. I took them out of the Brashadi because it was getting bullied. They didn't make the grades with the parents, basically. I put them in here
No,
and the bred.
it's mad the way they protected their offspring as well. It's
But,
bloody
but
cool.
sorry about that. But the sand, Keith, the sand was they built the sand all the way up to here.
Yeah, like if you look on my
Yeah.
Instagram, my Tanganyika tank, even in Jane, my Tanganyika tank, it was all level. And then every picture you look at from like I took a picture every day of the tank, and you
Hi,
can just see
Shane.
this, the sand, that's because you said Jane, just moves up and down the tank in like waves. It was insane to see.
Yeah.
But obviously, you don't notice it at the time, do you? You don't notice it till you like look at pictures and stuff that what's going on.
If somebody can someone bring up Keith's YouTube channel on the chat, if that's all right? Please?
I think
Sharing is caring.
yeah, I think most of the people on here know who I am at the moment, to be fair.
Well, that was my record, Keith. 20 people at once. I've never.
It went up to
Hello again, Rachel.
28 on my screen.
Yeah.
But
Not bad considering I've only got 110 subs.
I know, yeah. So I don't know whether the
And
algorithm pushed it or what. It might have popped up in the short screen or something.
and then for last night when King of DIY, I was like, nah, it's not him. That's why I asked
It,
you all.
it
And it
was
was him.
him. It was
And I made
because
him want Congo Tetras.
I clicked on the link, on his name, and it took you straight to his channel. So
Yeah, yeah. I was like, the King of DIY's in my chat.
I was telling Big Fish Lad Paul about that before. He was
Yeah.
struggling, and then he went and watched it, and he went, "Oh, his voice went dead nervous." Wow.
I did. It was a bit surreal.
That's exactly what I said. Like it was
What are we? Hang on,
uh,
Keith. What are we using to stream with? I'm using the Samsung S24 via YouTube Live.
I'm on the Samsung A39. No, A53, A39. That's my old
A53,
A53.
yeah. It's got a good
But
camera. Again, they've got a good camera.
yeah, the problem is when you zoom on it, it just pixelates really quick. So I thought, you know what? I'll get an account and I'll get shrimp and make shrimp content, and then realised that I can't get shrimp on my camera. It just pixelates. So
Yeah, it's not that even this the S24, as good as it is, it's still slightly. It could be better. It could be much better. But I think to get that, if you're going to have to look at something like a Canon or something. Well,
yeah,
actually, with a macro lens, so it concentrates on the focus in the center, as opposed to all the surrounding light and area.
is that what it is? Is it?
That's what Chris Loco, Shrimp King uses.
Oh, Chris, he's amazing.
Yeah,
He sent me all his posters a couple of months ago, Chris. I was,
you
I was
can't
having a
share
chat.
links in vertical mode. Ah,
My link's there.
oh, Christine, the link's here. So,
Oh, she's not a mod, so she can't share it. Or he.
oh, hang on, Christine. Oops, sorry, 1 second. Oh, if I do it properly. How do you make a mod? I can't do it this way.
I don't. It's your stream, so I've never made a mod.
You usually click on the person. And it gives you the.
Yeah, it should give you the option to do it, but I've never done it, to be honest, Rob. I've got an absolutely ton of cherry
There we
shrimp
go.
in it.
There you go, Christine. I've managed to find a way to do it.
Rob?
Yeah?
I've got a cherry shrimp in here, and it's that red. It looks black in the middle. Is that a good thing, or?
Not really, no. It's not.
No.
It's not a bad thing. It's just colour. It's not a disease or anything.
No.
It just happens. It happens sometimes in reds.
Yeah, it's like that red. It's like it's almost like purple, black. It is stunning. Like I've got one
You
in
couldn't
here.
share links, Christine. You couldn't share links because you wasn't a mod, I think. So now you're a mod. Now you've got your wrench, your little blue wrench, and you should be able to.
Joey's a mod on your channel, isn't he?
Yeah, Joey's a mod. Yeah, I made him a mod.
Some claim to fame, that Rob, isn't it? Oh yeah, the
Do you
DIY
think?
is a mod on my live streams.
I still can't believe it. Honestly,
What?
I was a bit dumbstruck. I was a bit like,
you know what's mad? Like, I finished watching your live, obviously. Like, put a few comments, didn't I, to Joey and reply to them, and then
yeah,
and then your live finished, and I went straight over to new aquarium co-op, Corey's, and I was
yeah. I
watching
saw
his
it.
live, and like he was chatting away, and there's like over 300 people on his live, and I just said something like, "You, how are you, mate? You look really well. How's things?" Kind of, just like chatting. I think, and he just stopped dead, looked at it, and read it out, and then started answering. And sat there for 10 minutes, and I was like, "Wow, that's the real that." But I used to, back in the day, he used to be on Instagram, didn't he? Like, you posted
Yeah,
videos
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
pictures of your tanks. Corey'd always pop up liking them, and Lisa from KG Tropicals.
Yep.
What old channels did you used to love on YouTube, bro?
What was that, Keith?
What old channels did you used to love on YouTube? What were you go to?
I've been with the Garden of Eden since day one.
Have you?
I remember his first video. Yeah.
What was his first video? I think I've seen it.
I follow not Fritz Aquatics, what's it called?
Flip.
That's the one, yeah.
Luke
Aquarium
Diesel.
Co-op. Yep, that's the one. Aquarium Co-op.
What's his? Is it Philip Diesel, isn't it his name?
Thanks, Fish from Link.
Fish from Link. Is
But
that
all the original OGs. I even follow Paul Cafero, but sometimes I don't like how he goes about putting a fish in a tank straight away.
I watched one of his videos and was like, "Nah, this kid doesn't know what he's on about." And I still say he doesn't know what he's on about.
Yeah, it's just a bit bad practice, isn't it? It's a bit, especially when there's hundreds of thousands of people watching it, and some of them go away and put a fish in a tank straight away.
The thing is, Rob, obviously I talk about, but like I've been on Internet 1.0. I was a moderator on a lot of forums and stuff, and I've seen that many people come on with health issues with fish, and I've told that many people over the years. The problem is you're not cycling your tank, you're not doing your water changes.
This is it.
I've told far too many people to start changing my tone now. What's
Yeah.
And
why did my fish only live for 2 months?
Yeah, and it got this big hole in its side. What's that all about? And you're like,
it had a giant hole in it. Said, "What is it, please?"
Yeah, you know what it is. What are your parameters like? I'll define. Are they? Because you can tell that's a water quality issue. Like
my usual reply for it, if I ask people the question, what parameters are you keeping your fish or shrimp on? They'll usually say either perfect parameters or the spot on.
Yeah, spot on.
It's like that meme. They tend to don't know the GH, KH, pH, and all the rest.
Yeah. You know what? It makes me really jealous, Rob. All these people who say my parameters are perfect.
Yeah.
My parameters in 30 odd years have never been perfect.
No, man. No,
You know
man.
what I mean? At SPS reach time, I've grown
we're really,
coral.
we are we're realists, Keith. We're realist aquarium keepers, basically. We're old school.
Yeah. So like, I used to have like corals the size of my nail, like hard corals, you know, like the SPS corals. They'd be like the size of your fingernail, and I'd grow them out to be plates the size of my hand. And I never ever had perfect water parameters in that tank. Ever.
This is what the King of DIY came and saw and made him. And King of DIY decided to get 100 Congo Tetras.
Yeah. He's nicking Rob's ideas.
King of DIY is taking my ideas.
Nice.
I like it.
That's it, isn't it?
Then my parameters are perfect. Yep, that's the one.
So,
do you want to show? Do you want to do a little show people around your tank at all? Your tank.
As soon as I move my camera.
As soon as you move. Yeah, I have the issue depending where my tripod is.
Yeah, like I'm out in the shed, so.
Should we get talking? What shall we start with?
Hit me with a question or something, Rob, and we'll go from there.
Okay then, 1 second. Come back to you, so I'm actually here.
If anyone in the chat wants a question answering, we could do that.
Yeah, is anyone in the chat? That's a good idea. Has anyone in the chat got any questions regarding anything fishy? How we do things, anything, tips, tricks?
Also, your life like quite laid back in it, and people are more like laid back in the
Chill.
chat.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. Hello, Charlotte.
You go back to the names than me. Charlotte's in the chat.
Would anybody like to know what kinds of foods we use? Maybe what our go-tos are. Not a bad thing.
Opened a can of worms.
Hello, Nikki. By the way, if I've sent you a message off anyone off my original Facebook account, I do apologise. It's not me. It's some Nigerian in Lagos, Nigeria, a different city this time. He's moved cities.
Where did he say what?
Lagos, Nigeria.
Is he? I'll have to message him, see if he can get me a crown of Natanz out the river.
Send you some diamonds. From my man.
Diamonds. What are diamonds going to do? I want a crown. What kind of
here's a bit of a mad question by Charlotte. Lottie's nature. If you could be any fish, what would you be? Me personally, I would be an Oscar.
An Oscar? You can't remind me of an Oscar, to be honest, Rob.
Watch these feed. I'm feeding these on these tablets, and you just crush them in your fingers, and they turn to a powder. And watch this. Look at that.
Eat your fish food.
Yeah, but it's the Corridorus and Plecos and bottom dwelling species, but everything eats it.
There's Jeff in the chat. Evening, Nicky Holt.
Hello, Jeff, man.
So you'd be an Oscar?
Yeah, he's a Prince Humbercoy, apparently. But the new account what I've got is actually me. If you need verification, I'll send you a video of me saying hi. I had to do that for someone just to make sure my account was legit. Evening, Jeff.
I've got so many cherries from here now. It's insane.
Come on, guys. Some nice, serious aquatic questions.
There was a question. I'm just scrolling back.
Yeah, you scroll back if you want. Feel free.
What kinds of nanofish are most popular in the UK, like standard tetras, rasboras, and danios, or anything fun? That's a good question.
Celestial pale danios.
I was going to say celestial pale danios, neon tetras,
neon green cubitai. Is it cubitai?
They the neon green Tetras, is it? The little tiny ones?
No, they're not. They're not a tetra. I think they're a raspora.
Raspora. Well, I've got. What was I going to say there? I had rummy nose raspora.
The rummy nose, yeah.
They're quite not the tetras, the rasporas.
But man would be my favourite nano fish, and in my opinion, very shrimp safe because they have such a small mouth. Would be celestial peldanios, and that's it. Jeff just said kubatai. I was right, kubatai.
See, that's the thing. Everyone calls them celestial peldanios, and I always tell a story about. I was going in my shop for years saying, "Have you got any celestial peldanios?" And they were like, "Nah." And one day I walked in and went, "There they are, there." And he went, "No, they're Galaxy Rasbora."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?"
Hello again, Nicky. Long time no speak.
It's just mad.
This is Keith.
Good evening.
Keith from Birkenhead.
Birken Vegas.
Birken Vegas.
Oh.
I'm just trying to think. Do you want some questions to ask you? A question to ask you.
I
know you do a lot of the old kind of Keefstead method, not the Wallstead method, the Keefstead method. But do you do any water changes or just top-ups in them type of tanks?
I do water changes on every single one of my tanks, mate.
You do one? Yeah.
Like every time.
So it's not just top-offs?
Every time I see someone put that no water change, like no
exactly.
CO2, I'm just like, you haven't got a clue what you're talking about. I'm sorry. It's just like I said before. I've had that many people over the years. Like I've helped with issues where they've had sick fish and stuff. But I couldn't, in good consciousness, go around and say, "Yeah, don't do water changes." Like, so these people who aren't doing water changes, they're just topping off. How are they dealing with the K8, Rob? How are they dealing with the GH in the tank?
The GH. It's rising all the time, Keith, because there's more mineral content. The more evaporation loss, the higher it goes.
Yeah,
and then it keeps on rising.
Cycling. Every time your tank cycles, it's chipping away at the.
And then you end up with.
Can the mods check that message that's held for review?
What's that?
There's a message there held for review. I don't know whether the mods can check on that or whether we have to.
Oh yeah, they've took it off. It was Ligma. I'm about to basically say he's about to bust his nut. Thank you for adding it.
Your tanks certainly have a
Ligma, go bust your nut.
What the hell, mate? Yeah, so I like all my tanks. I do water changes on. Like some of them I'll let go a bit longer. Like my water tanks, I'll do less water changes on. But everyone's seen me. I've dosed it, so you know I'll manually adjust it because, like I was saying, then if the KH is dropping, as the tank cycling, it's chipping away at the KH. Now if that goes, the pH is going, isn't it?
Yeah. If you've got aquatic soil in the tank, that starts having to work over time and doesn't last as long because of it.
Yeah. So
because it's constantly fighting the KH.
Obviously, we buffer the soil buff. We both know the soil buffers water, but there's just so many problems that you're causing yourself that you don't have to. It even says in the book, in her book, like she does like on a 55 gallon, she does like I can't remember. I think it was about 25, 40 liters a month water changes on like what is it, 180 liters. So I've never seen, like people say no water changes and the water tap method. I've never actually seen her say don't do water changes. It says in a book.
And there was one I watched. It was a shop in America. I think it was. I don't know if it was King of DIY what showed it. It was an Asian owner, and he never did water changes. He just did top offs.
Yeah, I mean,
but it worked for him. How?
Yeah, it can work.
Or do we? Do we not see the real life of behind the scenes of how many fish they're losing on when they get a shipment in? Put them in the tank and the fish is like, oh, I don't like this water.
Yeah, Rob. Yeah, let me ask you a hypothetical question now. Say I got on the phone to someone or whatever from like the Amazon and asked them to catch me some discus and ship them over here and put them in my tank water, straight from Amazon water into my tap water. What would happen to them?
The fish are dying pretty much within 24 hours.
So if I've let my tank go that far away from, because that's my attitude is every time you change your water, the more water is changing, the more in sync with your tap water, your water staying in your tank.
Yes.
So once you start digressing away from that, then it's the same principle as putting fish from the Amazon in tap water. Like, my tap water is not that hard, but it's still got like what, 7-8 parts per million of calcium in it, and probably more.
Ain't none of that in the Amazon. Not much. Mostly tannins and fulvic acids.
Humic acids as well.
That's the one, humic. I was trying to think in the background, Keith, and I was like, thank you for saying that.
There's all the organic compounds. Like, they're amazing, them in the water, by the way, because like when you put, like in a water tank, you get that yellow tinge, don't you? And everyone thinks it's tannins, but it's not. It's DOX. It dissolved organic compounds. And when you put tap water in with like heavy metal, like lead and stuff like that in your tank, them DOX bind with it straight away, and your plants can absorb it, and then it's just locked away in your plants. And it'll never get anywhere near your fish, like the mercury and stuff like that.
So true. Here's my next question for you. You have none what Keith said Walstead tanks, don't you?
Well, yeah.
What you keep a different way. You keep the old school way, but do you do water changes in them?
This gets all of them get 50% water change every week.
Yeah. Good.
Except the Walstead, which that's 225 litres, and I'll probably take about 20-30 litres a week out of it, and then just top it up with the stuff that Glenn from GB3 sent me. I'm doing a Rob on you.
Oh, hello.
What else? And then I've got me. See, I'm not like right next to me Walstead tank. I've got GH.
I've just got free bottles. Given Keith, I got them free.
I've got my bicarb all next to me tank. See, I'm not telling you to do something and I don't. Here's my Seachem safe.
Do you prefer the Seachem safe to using Pram?
Tell the town's on the way, mate. I wish. I'd love one.
I said, Keith, do you prefer using the Seachem safe as opposed to the Pram?
Only because of the amount of water changes I do. Probably.
You get more bang for your buck as well, I think.
150, and then say like 200, and then like what, 300, 400, 450. I'd say about 500 litres of water a week. Now, if you're doing that with
maybe sometimes a little bit more, But probably 5.5.
In my old house, I've still got the bottle here. It's full of driftwood soaking. I've got a bottle there. It's full of driftwood now. But what I used to do is I used to put it in the dining room and fill her up with like 250 litres of water the night before the water change, and I just let it sit there, and I never added any dechlorinator to it.
No. Well, does it evaporate after? Is it true that is this myth true that if you went, say for instance, I had a 100-litre bucket in my room and I filled it with pure tap water, not filtered, and I left the lid off that bucket for 24 hours, does the chlorine and everything dissipate?
Well, isn't chlorine a gas?
Yes.
So I'm assuming it would, but Rob, like I'll tell you, so like I'll hit you with like some real stuff, right? So I went to see this guy,
go on, fire away.
And he lives up in like posh parts of town, and I'm doing a tour of his fish room in the next couple of weeks, and it's amazing. It's like it's up there, do you know what I mean? And I won't spoil it, but I walked in and he's got these tanks, and like they're bigger than some ponds I've seen these tanks, and he's got these fish in them that are worth like mega bucks, like they're worth thousands. You know what I mean? But I won't tell you what they are because I'll spoil the tour. So I was like, wow, you must go through some like dechlorinator, and he said, no, I just use tap water in my tanks. And I was just like,
Really?
the fish police alarm went off in my head. Do you know what I mean? I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, 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 yeah.
got to tell him. And I was like, and then I was thought, hang on a minute, this guy's been keeping like these sorts of fish since we were kids. So there must be
Yep,
something in it. Do you know what I mean?
yep.
Like, I'm not saying stop using dechlorinator. I'm just saying this guy.
Sometimes
At the time.
people just seem to hit that sweet spot, Keith.
But the thing is, like, our water around here where I live is really soft, and they don't add much to it. So, like other people,
Unlike my water.
like some people say that their tap water smells like a swimming pool and stuff, and then I've
Man
seen some
does. Man
people,
does, Keith.
obviously,
Very, 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 very
obviously it's also a window
chemically.
cleaner. So, like, I understand. Like, I've spoken to window cleaners around it, and some of their
Yeah, I can imagine
water's
you
like,
know our own a big scale.
oh yeah, John Buckley in the chat. Good evening. If I
Hello,
haven't said
John.
if I haven't said hello to anyone, it's not because I'm being
Yeah,
rude.
we're not ignoring you. Hello, Adele.
If you want me to say hello, just say Keith hello.
See, this is why I like the YouTube side of it, because you can still see the chat, so to speak. On
Yeah, it's brilliant. I
on
feel like
StreamYard,
yeah,
you're talking to yourself sometimes.
well, that's it. Like, to be fair, I'll be honest with you, I preferred the StreamYard where there was no chat when I first started live streaming because I was quite self-conscious, so I could just focus
Yeah.
on the other people. So,
Here's a question for you, Keith.
go ahead.
If you could use one food, what you're using now, what's your most versatile food, what you tend to feed in every tank, and it's a huge success, what food is that?
Most first, like, I don't know, because like
It's something.
one of my biggest things is mixing it up the food.
No,
So,
variety.
I've got a regime in my head that I
Yeah,
feed. Like tonight, they've had pellets, high protein pellets, and cucumber, and I put some bloodworm in a few of the tanks and stuff. But
yeah,
to me, like you've got to have a staple of a pellet, haven't you? Like
yeah, yes,
um,
definitely.
Adam, look, he's Ranchu. He's a Ranchu breeder in the UK, and he's an amazing. He's probably like the British equivalent of Luke Goldies, but he hasn't hit that level yet. But his Facebook group's taken off and stuff. But he makes his own foods, and before he started making his own food, he talk you through the process of making fish food.
Yes, I love that. I love that.
And he was like, right, what you need is a premium fish meal with and he was talking through the different types of fish, and he was like, because we're
Yeah,
feeding freshwater fish, you need a saltwater fish meal ideally. And I was like, okay.
yeah.
And he was like, the best place, get onto this, Rob. He said, the best place in the country is this place in Birkenhead. And it's about 4 roads that way. Like, I could literally walk there now if it was open and buy this fish meal. And he has
Yeah,
to buy it in bulk and get it shipped down south.
yeah. Man would be my favourite food just because of its versatility. I mean, has to be this for the simple fact you can drop it in a tank like that and it sinks to the bottom. Then it just slowly dissipates and everybody gets a little bit. Or
Oh,
you can actually crush it in your fingers like this, and
yeah.
then take it to a tank like this, go like this, and watch the fish go crazy.
I've got this herons. It's
I like
protein
herons food.
granules. What's that?
Yeah, herons. I do like herons food.
So I
I've
was
used
speaking
them.
to all the snobs who use like they buy like 100 grams for 30 quid. I was talking to all them and they were like, no, herons food's crap.
No,
So
it's not.
then when we were in lockdown, like I'm a member of Goldfish Society of Great Britain,
Right.
Midlands. like there's three societies, isn't it? And they all kind of join together. Have you ever
Join
seen
together, yes.
what's his name's mountain goldfish from North Wales?
Does ring a bell, that.
Yeah, big Jamie.
Is that all sponsored by the Koi Whisperer?
What's that?
The mountain. What's it called? Mountain what? Do Mountain Summit make all that media?
They might do now. Like at the time, he was just starting out.
Yeah, they do skimmers and everything now for big ponds. I've been watching the Koi Whisperer, and he's been using all the mountain stuff in his filtration system, and his pond clarity is immense.
Is it? Well, there was him.
Yeah,
was it Captain Chocolate Cake or something? I think she was Polish. But there was like, what I'm saying is, there was like all us in this, like, all these goldfish societies jumped together when we were in lockdown, and they were doing like, like to keep people's mental health up. They were doing like Zoom meetings every night or once a week, sorry, and like we were all joining up and talking. And they were like, "No, the Heddon's food's amazing. You need to try it." So that's what got me into the Heddon's food. Like,
1 second, Keith. There's a question from, just regarding the food on here. Rob, have you tried the Ceravioform tabs? The crush. They're probably pretty much the same stuff as what I've just done. Because I'm successfully raising fry without feeding brown shrimp on this food, but at the same time, I can offer this food to my corals and my bottom dwelling species. Tabs. I've never heard. I do keep some Cera products, but it's not overly easy to get in the UK.
Are they German, are they?
Cera, I don't know if they're German or Spanish. I could be wrong. I usually am.
Yeah. I don't know. It's I remember
I didn't know. Sorry, but I didn't know other people was going live, so I wouldn't have gone live otherwise. So
well,
I do apologise if I'm taking.
The problem is, Rob, is there's someone live every day this week. So when do you go live? Like,
Yeah.
Getting to the point now where
Well, it is what it is. Jeff uses tetraciclid flake, but Jeff keeps a lot of tetra species, doesn't he? But again, I'm sure it's versatile.
Yeah.
Just trying to think of stuff to ask you. Okay. Which is your favourite fish in your room right now?
In my fish room. At the moment, it's probably Post Monarch, but
yes.
As the go
Rainbow
the
Love.
As the go the rivers get a bit obviously they're going to take precedence, aren't they? Because they're absolutely stunning fish. And as I say, the guy I got these off, got his from the breeder who supplied Gary Lang with his go the rivers. So I've got the same fish or the same genetics as Gary Lang, basically. So it's something to there's plenty of room for all on YouTube, I think. Totally agree with Shane on that. Like,
thanks, Umbercoy, for the support. I do live 5 minutes away from you, literally. It's a small world. Yeah.
Mad, isn't it? Like, did you see me the other week on Adam's chat with it's called the Scouscaper on here. It's what do you call it? Aquascape in Liverpool on Instagram. I was on one of my chats, one of my lives, like a year or two ago, and he popped on, and then like found out he lives like I could jump on a bus and be in his house in 10 minutes, and it's mad, isn't it? When you think like the whole world's on YouTube and some guy just randomly pops up from
this is it. So, we think Great Britain's a large island, but it's actually very small, Keith, compared to some countries.
Oh yeah.
And around the corner, there's always a fish keeper, but you just 99% of the time, you just don't know there's like these backyard breeders. Some of the backyard breeders are the best. I'm finding such good content lately, especially off Killy Corey and Saran.
See, that's the thing. I was about to say on Adam's. 132 tanks.
Yes. all small tanks like 30 litres, but he breeds absolutely everything. He has so many species of Corydorus and killifish species. It's unreal.
See, the thing
Hello,
is, like,
Paul.
I don't
Big
really
lads
do
in the
much.
room.
There's the content creator formerly known as the Big Fish Lads in the house. How are we, Paul? I was telling him about your escapade, wasn't I, last night?
Yeah. I was a bit awestruck, shall I say? I went a bit nervous,
He started
Paul.
flapping big time. Like,
I was like, what's the best tasting fish food you've personally tried? I am mad and bizarre. I have been tempted to try some fish food, but I ain't that mad.
who's actually tried fish food?
Somebody must have.
Can't wait to see someone in the chat too.
Same with like who's tried dog food? Somebody has. Who's tried dog biscuits? Somebody has.
I've tried the dog chocolates, like the chocolate buttons. They don't taste of anything.
Yeah, the dog. It's like the dullest. It's like chocolate. It's been in a shop window for the last year.
Yeah,
it just tastes like dead chocolate.
I
I've done a
didn't
dog
realize
treat, chocolate dog treat.
I didn't realize they were dog treats. I was working in a pet shop at the time. I was about 14. Strangely enough, I've been employed to look after the fish tanks. Would you believe it?
Do you know for you, Keith, is the chat froze by any chance?
No, it's
I'm stuck on Jeff's tetracyclic flake, and I cannot see.
Can you scroll up?
Oh, what have I done here?
Oh no!
Oh, here we go. I was paused. So you can actually pause it on a section, so you can get to read. It doesn't move along while you're reading.
Hey, that's a clever little gizmo, isn't it?
That's just been found by accident.
So I'm getting me tanks tomorrow.
Hello, Shane.
Go on, Keith. He's been in the chat for a while.
I must have been so ignorant.
So I'm getting me tank tomorrow, Rob.
Hello, tomorrow?
Yeah, and Paul sent me a message to Savvy, so I'm not going to mention what it is, but he sorted me out with a fish that if someone said you can have this fish or the credit in the tans, it'd take me a long time to make a decision.
I think I have an idea of what fish that is.
Yeah, but
definitely. I've got a tank being made by ND, but it's on there's a backlog. So these 3 tanks here are all coming out because they're all 25 litres. But I'm getting it 800. It's a 900 shelf, but I'm getting it made 890 by 450 deep by 55 high. So I'll have enough gap. I'll have a gap of about that. But that's going to be discus. Definitely.
Discus. Wow.
I'm seeing all these discus. I've always wanted. My parents had wild caught discus in '88. I've always wanted discus. And if I had to pick a discus, it would be a wild caught one species. I just love the wild caughts.
The lad, I'm going to see him in a week or two, and he.
Right, one second, Keith. I'm just going to make Big Fish Lad a mod.
Got some big YouTubers as your mods, aren't you? The Big Fish Lad and Joey Mullen are your mods on your channel, like.
Yeah, but I think everyone deserves to have a spanner, unless you're that geezer earlier what said he's going to bust a nut.
He is a spanner.
Yeah, he is a spanner. Bit of a wrench.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah. No worries, pal.
It's going to be a Blackwater tank, Rob, I think, because I keep setting up planted tanks, don't I? And if I'm honest with you, like I keep thinking this to myself, if I won another one and I haven't done the first one right, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't quench my appetite.
Sense, yes.
So if it hasn't quenched my appetite, I haven't done it right. So I need to go back and sort the others. But like this Warstad at the moment's flying.
sometimes, Keith, you can find yourself setting up, it not quite being right, and then resetting, and then you hit this again. I like to say you hit that sweet spot. And Old English Bull. Hang on, I'll give you a spanner. 1 second.
Your spanner. Oh, dropping a ball there, though.
Here we go. That's you done, Nicky. Nicky keeps Old English Bulldogs. Oh, it's a beautiful dog.
And I've also got the high-tech one as well, haven't I? So
yeah,
I'm doing low-tech and high-tech, and it's still not quenching me thirst. Like, if I get a Crenn in the hands, obviously, I'm going to have to set up a tank for that. There'll be a tank just for that.
Yeah.
Plant,
Yeah, just for that, yeah, because I know that's what you really want, yeah.
And they get 6 foot leaves, so you're not messing about, are you, if you get one of them? Like,
no.
You're gonna have to put effort into keeping one of them, I think. But as I say, like, I want to do some other things. I was saying in that video I released today, I was doing so much other stuff like 5-6 years ago before I moved into this house, and I was like, nothing was on tap water. Everything went through an RO system, one way or another. I was either using a waste for Tanganyikans or RO water or mixed with rainwater maybe for discus, and I'd made saltwater tanks. So, and obviously I've got my wall start, which arguably kind of you're changing the water there, aren't you, from straight tap water?
This is it, yeah. Look at this. Look at my sexy flora. Look how it needs trimming.
You got to look at mine.
I can see yours. Don't you? That's why I mentioned it. Would you class it as a hard growing plant?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, but yeah, because everyone tells me it's not. And like I always say to everyone, I put it in 4 tanks, and in 3 of them it crapped out. And I was like, "This is supposed to be dead easy to keep. What's going on?"
I've never had it crap out, and I've kept it in all different water conditions as well, and it's always thrived. I just think, and maybe I've got lucky a little bit.
No, Rob, like, the thing is, like this, we all have these conversations, don't we? Is this hard? It's easy. But if you go back and look on my wall stat, the one where I done like a Dutch style wall stat with all stems, which is like a bad idea. And in the end, I thought it was being smart at the time. But if you go back and look at that, I bought 2 lots of Bacopa caroliniana. It was exactly the same plant, but it was from 2 suppliers, and I put it in, and one of them took off, which is the stuff in here now. And it's in here, it's like all over the gaff. But the other half died from the other supplier.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but if I'd have only bought that other one, I'd be like, and you said to me, is Bacopa hard? I'd be like, yeah, because I bought it.
I think a lot of these big companies do things very different from the way they grow things for how they're going to transition as well.
Well, I think
even down to water.
Oh, mate.
I mean, you've got Tropica in Denmark. They're going to be using different quality water as opposed to Aquadip in the Netherlands.
Yeah, like, see, the reason why they do that is, one, they can grow more plants, like it's got access to unlimited CO2, and people are like, well, that's really greedy doing that. You know, like, you're growing it as fast as you can, and we've got to transition it. You'll crap out like these have done here. But the thing is, they've got to get phytosanitary certificates, which cost like hundreds of pounds to ship a box of plants in. So, like, how many did they ship? Say like 50 plants. So if they're going to put 150 quid on 50 plants, am I paying? Do you think I'm going to pay towards that phytosanitary certificate? Do you know what I mean? So, like, the price of plants would shoot right up if they weren't doing it.
It's because what's happened, I personally think, Keith, is what I personally think is happening regarding plants. The UK is becoming up to date with the likes of Holland, Sweden, Scapers. Regarding plants, the UK is becoming a lot more into plants now because there's a lot more things on the market. Some work, most don't. But people are like, oh, I'm going to try that. If that means me, sometimes they hit the nail on the head and get it right. A lot of the times they don't.
Well, That's it. Like I think stems are overrated, mate.
Yeah, I'm not liking the stems in this tank, although in my other tank they've done really well, but they're on the same soil. Work that one out. The only difference is the light.
I base my success on like 18 months. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah,
after my tank's been running 18 months, I'll decide whether it's been a success or not. When you try and keep stems looking good for 18 months,
you do that
it's
much
so
cropping,
far.
you do that much clipping. You can't do that because a lot of the bottom leaves tend to not get the sunlight, and all the bottom of the plant tends to go bald.
Yeah. Oh,
Be that eaten by
all
snails.
saying my cessiflora. I always say wrong, don't I? I always assume it's leaf, but it's flower. Flora isn't in flower.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
grown, but
yeah.
it's see. I always I had that exactly the same thing. Like it, I started off with it, and I think it's getting towards the light. And like I would say, I think there's like a golden zone here where there's like loads of
It's
CO2 diffusing into the water here. Do you know what I mean? And obviously,
yeah.
your light is penetrating. Obviously, you're getting.
Well,
We were talking about wavelengths
sessiflora.
last night, weren't we?
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
blue will go right down, and it probably go through your tank, whereas the red will
That's
probably
it.
only come to about here, and then your whites
Yeah,
somewhere here. But your pores dropping right off. You know, your photoactive radiation, they call it, don't they, or something like that.
that's that's right.
But as it's like, so if you get like a twin star top of the range light, which is like hundreds of pounds, and you get a Tiger, when you start putting it at like 2 feet, there isn't much difference in the par, because it drops
I'm
exponentially.
I'm noticing every now and again I put a bit of extra lightage on my sessiflora.
Yeah,
Personally tend to found where it gets less light, the slower it grows. The
yeah,
more nice white light it gets, the more it grows towards it. And you're getting like almost sometimes I can get a growth of about an inch, up to an inch a day.
can you? Wow,
Yeah, that's what
that's what I'm
this
saying.
this
Like, it
this has
struggled up
been
to about
trimmed,
here.
Keith,
What's that?
and that's been trimmed only. That's all been trimmed only about not even a week ago, 6 days ago actually, and it's to the top again already.
Yeah, mine grows up.
That's not that plant's not grown well. Don't ever you get that plant, creeping Jenny. It's designed for ponds,
Creeping
not for
Jenny.
tanks.
Oh, I've read about that. That's
The more for marginal pond plants, it gives off yellow flowers, but as you can see, it's not growing.
I'm sure that that's what she said.
That's
I'm sure that's the
gone.
one that it'll use the carbonates
Yeah,
um in your KH rather than it doesn't need CO2 to grow efficiently because it'll use that
it's
as
not
its carbon source,
not it's not done well in either tank, and it's got
hasn't it?
root tabs underneath it. It's
Well,
buried
they're only
into aquatic soil.
micronutrients, aren't they? So is it
Yeah,
what's the
this is
KH
it.
like in the tank?
And the KH is 4.
It's quite low then, really, isn't it? For a
Yeah,
planted
it's a soft,
tank.
but it's GHA. It is. I prefer my. I did it. I wanted to mimic as much as what the Congo type. Even though they've never seen the Congo, I wanted to go there because I like making my own parameters because then it opens the door for what fish I can have.
Exactly, yeah. So
It gives me
yeah,
more choice, be it soft
everything
water or
here.
hard water.
I, I get what you're saying. Like it's I like playing with water parameters and like I like what you're saying there. You know, where you set it to like an area of the world, and you're like, right, that's what I'm gonna set the water
That's
parameters
what
as
you're going to
that.
pick. Exactly that, yes. I even look at plants. I don't tend to if a plant won't do good in them parameters, and it seems to be that creeping Jenny. Creeping Jenny is a marginal pond plant. It tends to grow better up. It'll only flower out of water.
Well,
So
yeah,
why it came as an aquatic plant, but that's aquadip for you. I ordered
did
the
it?
mix. I didn't get to pick what I got on the six creeping Jennies.
What did you order? A mix. And they send you creeping Jenny.
But my crips have. I wish I had a tank full of crips.
Are they
They've come
walker
under the
eye, are they?
mix. You've probably seen when you order Aquadip, the tray comes as Cryptocorum mix
Yeah, but
because it had in it this one, it had in it this one, which is a lot smaller,
That
not
looks,
as high. Here's a better version of it.
What's happened to the lights? That looks like Wendetti Eye Brown, that, doesn't it?
Yeah, brown. That's what I was thinking on that one. Yes, but that's the same plant. But this side is not getting as much light, and it's not gone the same colour.
You haven't separated them, have you?
No, I've put them in as one.
Yeah, I separate all mine. What's the difference? I'll take.
I'm one of them, Keith. I'll take all that rock wool off, and I've done half a day's work just getting the rock wool off. I even used the fork method, and I'm like, right, it's not getting separated; it's just getting planted. I separated the stem plants, but I didn't separate my cryptocorum because the root base was so good.
Cherry trims just shot past that way on your screen.
Rob Adele here, spammer.
Funny.
Ah, right. She needs a spanner, he means. 1 second.
I'll wait till you get back. Yeah, so I separate all my cryptos.
Yeah, if I would, I mean, if I would have done, I'd have got all them in there. I had 16 pots. And then, again, I didn't separate these. I'll go off here. Excuse these thingy, my tortoise UV. Arcadia, 12% UVB.
I used to love Arcadia bulb for me.
They're
the tanks.
The best of the best.
They're about 50 quid a bulb. And I had
but all these crypts here, I put them all together.
Yeah, they look nice, them like.
Same with that one. I don't know. I'm not sure what this speed. Do you know what this one is? It's got like a pink edge and a green middle.
Oh, I don't know.
That come under this one. Come under the mix as well. This is exactly what I'm trying to tell you. You want
maybe
if you can see
maybe
look at that. You can see it. You see the pink. You see the pink edging.
Yeah.
This tank is just. I've hit the sweet spot with this tank. I think.
Definitely. That's them reds are popping as well, aren't they? What is that? That's popping. That red. Is that Ludwigia?
Do you know what? It comes as a mix. I've got the label somewhere, but I know that's Rotala because it looks like helicopters.
Shows it from the top. Looks like a Ludwigia to me.
1 second. Let me take the flow of the water away so it's not. There you go.
Yeah, it looks like a Ludwigia to me from the top.
I think it is is it Ludwigia Super Red? It rings a bell.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, but it's gone. It's gone really, really red.
Yeah, can you shot away and I'll go and get you some of mine from the pond.
Yeah, carry on, Pete. Let's see. I'll keep talking.
Oh,
it does look like Ludwigia. Yeah, I think it is. Yes, thank you, Rob. I love your fish. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Jeff. But this is by far. I've just hit the nail on the head with this tank. And as you can see, it's actually lit by a Hygge light, but I've only got it on 40%. And then at the top, I have to. Let's have a look at that.
Yeah, that looks.
But yeah, I can see that.
That's not the piece.
And now it's red.
It was. And there's another piece that's like purple. It's that red. You see that?
That's nice. That. Which one's this one?
What's that? That's super red.
Is that? Or Ruben? It does look very similar. It does look very similar, Keith. But in my tank, the leaf just looks. Oh no, hang on. This piece you can see is actually quite bad size. There, look.
That's growing out of water, Rob. So yours are growing.
This is the only reason this tends to not grow out of water. No.
No, so your leaves will grow smaller and more like crinkly.
Possibly. Yeah, that's exactly what it's doing. But it stayed red. It pops.
I love this tank here. Just like
I'm going to bed, guys. I've got a very early start tomorrow. Good night, Umbercoy, mate. Take care. Oh, yeah.
That's just standard Ludwigia weapons, like so. Well, you can see it doesn't look as red on that camera for some reason.
No, you can't see a lot. You can't see a lot of colour on when it comes to camera. I can tell that's red.
Almost.
It does look purple. It almost looks like a dark, like lavenderish.
Got duckweed on my hand now. Human.
Oh, I don't do duckweed. I am duckweed free. The only floating plant I have is Keith, if you need some of this, I'll send you some. I've got loads now. Look.
What?
Amazon frog bit, and I have a tank full of it here.
I haven't got duckweed. I've got giant duckweed.
Oh, you've got the American duckweed.
I've got tons of Amazon frog bit.
Right, let me come back to you guys. 1 second. I will flip my camera around.
There he is.
It's really warm in here, guys. Hence why I've got this. This towel's not just to use for fish tanks. It's
not just for fish tanks.
For me as well. My room's. I'm a sweathead, Keith. I don't do warm.
No, I don't. When you've worked outside for years, you don't like heat.
In the GB.
There's Glenn's cap. I'm looking for something at Glenn's. This here's another bag. That's this week's bag for the bin of plant bits.
Oh, well done, Charlotte. I hope it stays there, Charlotte, for you. And then me and Charlotte can do a live, and we can look at some of her crazy creatures, because she's got some amazing setups.
Oh, we are. Lights gone off.
Oh, electric's out, guys. It's not putting no money in the meter.
Oh.
It's hotter than Satan's bum.
The show must go on.
Is that your tanks all going to sleep?
Yeah, I did turn them. I must have turned them the wrong way. I must have already switched them on this morning when I was doing maintenance, and then turned them off coming in here to do the live.
Also, Keith, you can actually vape on camera, so if you need to vape, just vape. I was on a chat last night with Jeff. I was smoking. It was so laid back. It was amazing.
Smoking. I don't feel comfortable doing that, to be honest.
Well, I am. But I tell you, most of all, kids, don't smoke. It's bad for you.
Yeah.
I just need a drag just to quench my thirst.
That's the problem.
Keith, you catch up with chat. I'm just going to go downstairs and get a drink.
Anyone want to ask any questions?
Yeah, go on, get some questions going.
I'm having a nose. Duckweed dance. I have to check that. It's got a video. I like Stephen P's live bird and mosh pit video. I think that's one of the best videos on YouTube for fish keeping. Yes, it's my motto to be comfortable, definitely. Yeah, I've never heard of what's the best place to get Crenham and Tans?
Oh, do you know what? You're going to give him one of them, you, Keith.
Get the best place, if anyone knows any Nigerian princes that could ship me one over from Africa.
Charlotte, regarding your question, try and avoid the rolling of the weed on camera, because the tents are not like that and it gets flagged.
How do they know? Do people blow you up or something?
Because people on camera go from this to this.
My eye looks like that anyway. Waiting for stuff to pop up in the chat now.
Yeah, we're not an illegal country, you know. Unfortunately, it's frowned upon here.
Well, anything's frowned upon in the UK, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems to be, Keith. It's elusive. It's like the Lord above don't want you to have it, innit?
Who's the Lord above? Boris Johnson?
He's got a beard like me. No, he's got a beard like me, but it comes out here as well. It goes by the name of God.
I thought you were talking about the KFC fella then.
Yeah, well, it looks like him. Kind of like
Yeah,
Father Christmas.
Wow. There's all these people that be jealous of that, isn't there?
Yeah. Whew.
So what's your next plan then, Rob? Next tank?
My next tank. Well, my next tanks are going here. This is going to Charlotte at Lottie's Nature. This is my crab enclosure. This is all going. I can fit four 25-litre tanks on here front to back. So that's what's getting put there. Or my rainbow fish tank, what's out on the Uno, and then I can put 12 tanks on 12 25 litres onto my 1200 rack.
Yeah.
And the discus tank down the bottom.
What are you talking about?
More shrimp, and mostly for fried, you know, for overspills, because sometimes you get cold months where nobody buys anything. I've got to cover the cost of feeding the fish, house them. So I need these was my fry. Them was my fry tanks.
Yeah.
Now they're my tanks because the fish in the tank behind me, this tank, they bullied them.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, that's what I was gonna say before. I know loads of like you were saying, like backdoor breeders. I know loads of breeders around here, but I don't really want to get into like mass breeding of fish because I've done it all before, and you end up with loads of second-hand tanks. You don't know which tank's got a bleeding leak in it, but there's always a puddle on your floor. Do you know what I mean? And, and you've got loads of fish that you've bred, like whistlenose and angels and all these type of fish that you've got a room full of them, and your whole life's about getting on groups trying to sell these fish for like £2.
Yeah.
And everyone else in the area is doing it. Now, to me, that it just saps the fun out of the hobby. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, Jeff's asked the question. What new shell dweller would you want if seeking another species? Oof. To be honest, I don't think I need any more because I think I got the cream of the crop from the shop, because every other species, Jeff, what was in the shop was unfortunately, very bland and basic. So I got, to me, what popped, what stood out a little bit, what had a little tint of colour, because there is some very basics. Like, I personally don't like multifasciatus, because multifasciatus breed like there's no tomorrow.
I absolutely love them. But then I've never kept them.
That's what I mean. Some people love them. But if I wanted, it would. If I was to get any, it would be more Julidicromus species. I've got the Kipley eye in the transcripts, but yeah.
Your transcripts are amazing. I thought they were like Lulupi, but they're not, are they? I thought like
No, they're more splendid, even more splendid. They're like torpedoes.
I don't like. I mean, behavior-wise, I thought they'd be similar.
Yeah.
Behavior, but they're not.
No.
They're almost like helicopters, aren't they? They just fly around in your tank.
There you go, Nicola. Is that better?
Constantly.
To be honest, I don't like wearing this cap, not because it's GB, but you see how small it is. It's so shallow, it's unreal. You put it on, you've got an egghead. But yeah, shell dweller wise, it would be all the species of Julidicromus. If I could keep them all, that would be my pick. I just love them.
Yeah, I'd definitely have multis if I could set up a tank called Similis. I just think they're like textbook shell dwellers, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But obviously, if you've had it, like you said, the basics. So if you've kept shellies in the past, you want move on, don't
Go
you?
to
You
the
want
next
to try
level.
something.
It's
Yeah. Same.
it's like with a lot of fish, Keith. You want to transition. Once you've kept that fish, you want to go to the next level of that said species of fish, and you just let. I'm sure you'll like to do the same. Challenge yourself to keep things well, and then if you're keeping them things well, look at other options sometimes, and then go for that higher, more specialist fish because you know what
Yeah.
you're doing.
I originally got into like Tanganyika fish and done my research on them when I got Telmatochromis temporalis gel. I got Neolambrologus pisciardi, even though I wanted pulcher. They did not pulcher the pisciardi. I got the Lalupi.
Yeah.
What did I get? I was after, is it Cytotilap? What is it? The Leptosoma? The, the sardine cichlids.
Cyprichromis.
Cyprichromis leptosoma, yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
after them. I could never find them.
Beautiful. I
They're
thought about
absolutely
that.
stunning.
They're a that you see, someone suggested in the shop, if I go for a mixed shell dweller tank, do bottom shell dwellers and then put the cyprichromas because they'll mid swim to the top.
Yeah.
So it is an option I am looking at to put a bit
Take
more
care, Paul.
bit more colour and energy in the tank. I mean, because this one whole tank takes up 4 fish.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like there's all that space. This even has a glass shelf for plants, but I didn't use them. If anybody uses these heaters, they're a really good heater, by the way. Affordable as well.
Yeah.
This one.
I've still got
Don't
to
go
do
for your
with.
cheap. Don't go for your cheap generic Chinese ones because this one
No,
here,
never.
not this one, it blew up
No.
and it started smoking.
One thing I'll never mess around with is heaters.
Good night, Paul. Take care, mate. Thanks for joining in, mate. And hope tomorrow's a brilliant day for you, pal.
He's a legend, or Paul.
He is.
He's supported my channel since it started.
I subscribed to Paul a while ago, but I tended to. I wasn't using YouTube to its potential. I was just using YouTube to watch streams, not like and share and comment. And it wasn't until I
I
saw
don't.
you and Glenn. I mean, you and Glenn have been kind of my little inspiration because I sit back and I see what you was both doing, and I thought, why should I not share what I have and the little bit of knowledge I have with everybody else?
That's exactly what happened with me and Paul. Like, I watched one of Paul's videos, and like I say, I had the YouTube channel before. Like, a lot of people have seen it. A lot of people have subbed to it actually in the last couple of weeks. My
Yeah.
personal channel. But I seen Paul's video, and I was like, I want to do that. You know, I want to share my passion. And I said in one of his videos, like, I'd love to do that, and he went, just do it. So I just picked the camera up and like recorded a video walking around the living room in here, and it's my first video on my channel. So, like, I totally get where you're coming from. Where, like, you get the inspiration of someone, you're like, I'd love to do that, and then
I mean, Keith, I have all this in my room, and I'm like, I'm using it, nobody else, and I'm like, why not? Why does not somebody want to know how I store my water? How does someone not want to know how I do our row? I think it's all part of the hobby. It's all part of the process.
See, that's the thing. Like, I watch loads of YouTube videos, and then a lot of YouTubers now are just all about, like, they think we're there to see them. We're not. We're here to see fish. So, like, I'm under no illusion that people have come to see me. They've come to see my nuggets of gold, the stuff that I know. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm under no illusion about them. Like, I'd never see myself as the reason why this channel exists. It's obviously the tanks are set up and
but most of all, if you can put some of your knowledge, what we know, I know, or you know, if you can put some of that across to another person, and then them have great success, it's a wonderful thing, and it's a win-win for everybody.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, I've watched YouTube videos in the past, and I'm just going, hang on a minute, what did he just say? And like, there's just like this, like, he's like 30 seconds of like this, like nuggets of gold, and you're like, wow, they're like breathing or just like filtering something, and just say something. You're like, hang on a minute, what? It's brilliant, like that. It's like Joey, you know, in like one of Joey's first videos, he was sat in this room and he set up this overflow. And he was
I
sat in a room with
remember
like
it. Yes,
six. And he was sat in a room, and there must have been like 6 fish tanks. He had the Tropheus Icola in the
Tropius. Yeah,
backyard,
yeah, yeah. The OG, the
and
OG days.
I was like, "What's this, mate? Like, so you can have one more than one fish tank? Yeah, like that's not against the law or nothing." And then I think like the next day, like I bought like a 4 foot tank off someone. It was like weird, but that's another thing I was going to say. Go back to like I'm under no illusions about people wanting to substance like they're after my information. Now, to be fair, a lot of my information isn't like I didn't come up with it. It's these like black street breeders that you were talking about. You know, where like
Yeah,
you've been to buy fish off someone and you've like stood in the shed all evening with a cup of tea and just talk
yeah,
fish and everything like and they're at the end of their like hobby because they're like coming to the twilight years of their life and like try this son and you're like why have I never thought of that, you know, and a lot of the stuff I'm passing on is stuff that I got from the guy who runs my local fish shop and these like other breeders. Well, I wouldn't define myself as a breeder anymore. I think I've done a lot of my like I'll breed. Don't get me wrong, I'll breed for the fun of it, but
yeah, yeah.
I've got no ambitions to have like a massive room full of you know
Yeah, go to that next super level. You're happy where you're at.
odds and ends. Yeah, so like when I was into the Tanganyikans, I was like, right, so I got them all, and the guy in the shop said like, if you're any good at breeding fish, you'll have these bred in a month, and
Yeah,
I did all bred in a week. And I was
it's
like,
not.
well,
It becomes no more of a challenge. That's how I like fish. You see, I don't see this hobby as keeping fish. All my shrimp are an investment because I put the money in because I want to rake some money back. I want to use the money I rake back to plough back into the hobby, so it self-sustains. It took me near on 2 years to get to where I'm at, but all what I sell
yeah,
now, and it's made it more enjoyable for me because
that's the
it
thing.
opens more doors.
I need to get into selling jelly shrimp. Um, but like you said, you need to set up the network, don't you? You need to
It's all
find the
about building. It's starting at spider web
networking.
small and getting it to a bigger size, and then all them doors open. And before
Yeah.
you know it, you've got Tom, Dick, and Harry all messaging you. Can I have 10, 20 shrimp, please? Yeah, no problem. Drop your address. Send your PayPal. Thank you very much.
So yeah, like that's what I'm saying. But like with the fish, I like you know what I mean? It's like I'd bred all these like Tanganyika fish, and I grew them all out so they were like the size of yours. You know, like the fish shop always says bring them back when they're an inch, don't they? And we'll have
Yeah,
them. So I
yeah,
take them all in, and I was like, so I'll pop in and I'll buy me food and have a chat. And I always say, do you want some of these? A lot of
yeah.
the time they'll be like, bring us a bag in, you know, bring us 20 and we'll give you some store credit, stuff like that. I've done that with the on me breeding for profit video, didn't I? Where I just dumped
You
20
did.
jelly shrimp in the tank and go store credit. No, I swapped it, didn't I, for the sand for these tanks. And then I was like, hang on a minute, like I, the point in me selling now was to pay for the boxes so I could ship. But I've still got the
This is
other
it.
box I need to ship.
You have to make it cost effective. I mean, you do tend to take a little hit at the beginning, but as
Yeah,
time goes by, your percentages become higher. So your revenue becomes more because of the simple fact. And then you find yourself having a nice little nest egg, and you're like, what can I get next? Hmm.
yeah.
And then before you know it, you're buying the said fish at a big price because you've always wanted it, and you've paid for that fish with what you've made. It's such a better feeling. It's unreal.
Well, if I'm
All
honest,
my
well,
all
if
my
I'm honest,
Africans
like,
was paid with profit.
yeah. Well,
Yep.
if I'm honest, like, because I drop stuff off at the fish shop all the time, I've probably got that much money in store credits. If I seen something like any fish came through the door, and I was like, I want that, like, you just bag it up for me. Do you know what I mean? So, but
But I
as
just
I say,
like the challenge of
I've
it's
read
not
all
just
these
about the
Tanganyika,
go on,
I've read
sorry.
all these Tanganyika cichlids, and I took them in and was like, do you want them? And he was like, no, can't sell
No,
them, don't want them.
the,
So I ended up
the,
having to give them all away for free. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to keep Tanganyika, I need to challenge myself. So I got
yes,
Francosa.
definitely.
Yeah, so it's relating back to what you were saying there about stepping up, challenge yourself more. Because I thought it takes three to
You
five
have to
years to
push.
breed them.
if you don't push yourself, what's the point of being in the hobby? I mean, the hobby is all about taking it to that next level. Because taking it to that next level, you can have next level fish, you can have next level plants. Because here's a question for you, Keith: if you could advise everyone to have one plant in their tank because of ease of growth and what it does to taking out of the water, the job it serves, which plant would that be?
Allodensa.
Really? The original, where it all began.
Old school, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's just,
and it does all right in tropical water as well.
It just flies. Like it doesn't need any CO2 in the water at all, as long as there's K8. It's an animal. Like I said in my video on it, it'll eat your cat if you give it the chance. It's just a monster of a plant. What are you looking at here?
The Lamprologus ocellatus gold, there's babies in here. They're actually self-sufficient now. They're free roaming. Not as gold as I'd like them to be. I mean, the female she's pretty dull. I'm just trying to find. There she is. It's the only female in the tank.
Wow.
She's the pair. She's the mum too. There's a fry. There's a baby.
Hanging on by a thread.
Like miniatures of themselves.
They're gorgeous, aren't they?
There's quite a lot of they're elusive fry. The minute they see you looking, they're straight into a shell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Off with pop. They're stunning, aren't they?
The glass.
I might take some of them off them, you know.
Yeah, well, in a few months I'll have some ready. These are the Lamprologus ocellatus gold. You can get the Lamprologus ocellatus blue as well. Looks very similar, but where it has like a pinkish lavender on the gold, it's blue on the ocellatus blue.
Wow, bloody hell.
But yeah, you can get down here it's easy on train from Liverpool, actually.
Yeah.
Straight journey. Yep.
Yeah.
From one end to the other.
I used to travel to Hull every weekend and then get the train down to
I'm 10 minutes from the train station as well, on foot.
Oh,
literally. Yeah, I'm quite central, really.
I think I used to get the train from Liverpool to Leeds and then Leeds to Hull and then Hull to Campbell, Beverley.
So that's what you made in the last month on your YouTube, Jeff. 112. Was it $112?
118. 118.
Yeah, 118. That's better than a slap in the face, I guess. It's even if it was $10, I'm sure you'd have been like, oh my god, wow, didn't expect a penny. But people do support you.
Yeah.
And that's to me is what the hobby is. Max viewers 20. Video. 118. Yeah. Yeah, my maximum was 14. This is that Fish Fam link. Since I've had the Fish Fam link, I didn't know your actual stream shows on their list. So that's why loads of people dropped in.
Is that what it is? Wow.
Yeah. It brings the people. That's how King of DIY found me. Look through the Fish Fam links. But so yeah, your plant of choice to recommend everyone would be the Allodensa.
Allodensa.
Allodensa, that's the what.
And a chorus. Obviously, it's not for everyone. You'll get aquascapers bitching it down, don't you? But I'm like, well, you know what? You set up a tank for 3 months and then you bin the tank like that. To me, like I was saying to you before, like a tank hasn't matured properly till it's 18 months. So you got no gauge of how successful you are with a tank.
Exactly.
I don't agree with that anyway. Because, for example, with a reef tank, right, it takes about 18. If you can't do a reef tank, in 18 months, your tank will completely crash.
Yes,
all your corals will
definitely. It's happened to me. It happened to me. I'll hold my hand up, Keith. I did it and it happened. I lost all the corals slowly tend to almost look like bones, like it was getting stripped back.
What's it called? WTN, like tissue necrosis.
Yeah, it might have been that. Yeah, I think that's exactly how they went. It like a white tissuey stone.
Yeah, because all the flesh just strips off it.
Strips. Yeah, it was like I was like, that was my time to quit. So I sent it on to my friend, and he everything I gave him was in like a nano marine tank. He put it into his big tank, and it's all come back to life.
That happened to me, that Rob. Like what do you call it? I set up a reef tank and I started, and like I said, I got all these SPS corals. They were the size of fingernails. I grew them out of plates the size of my hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hundreds of them in there. It looked amazing. It looked like some sort of like, it was almost like my Pilates tank where there was just nowhere to glue SPS corals on. There was just coloured sticks and plates everywhere, and it crashed. And like what you said, it was about 18 months, 2 years in, and it just stripped everything.
Yeah, strips. Yeah.
And you can see that, like when the lights come on, you can see the coral bone structure
It
glowing.
literally looks like white bone. Yeah, like a skeleton.
Like, oh, what's going on here? And I was like, the polyps must have gone in, but obviously they've stripped. And so I went to see my old boy Dave, who bought these tanks off. He was just like, he'd been into salt water forever. He goes down the river Mersey here and collects natural seawater. Well, he doesn't anymore because bless his soul, he passed away. And I bought his tanks off him just before he passed. So, like, whenever anyone knocks these tanks on YouTube, I get really offended because he used to go and stand in his old boy shed. I listened to him talk for hours about salt. But like, he was like, listen, mate, don't worry about it. Like, it happens to he was like, do you think we've all got frag tanks to make money, to sell? And I was like, yeah, obviously. And he was like, well, that's half the job. He was like, well, the other half is, so when you have a crash, you can restock it. And I was like, oh, yeah. That was it then. I was off again. It's like, there was half a dozen frags then, and I was off.
What's your opinion on keeping the plant hornwort, also known as foxtail?
Hornwort, I think it's great,
and could you explain to people what don't actually know what hornwort does and what it takes out of the water?
Well, hornwort's what's it called? They say it's allelopathic. I've had people say it's not, but I've sent Jeff a scientific paper that looks at the link between algae suppression and hornwort in a fish tank.
I've never had algae. I've never had algae in a hornwort tank.
No, well, I'm getting it, but there's only a little bit of hornwort, and the tank's only just been set up.
Minimal,
So it might not be, it takes time with chemicals like that, and like I understand from neuroscience, because all these chemicals, they're not that much different. The reason why opioids and cannabinoids work on the brain is because all the compounds in our brain, at that level, there's only so many different compounds that can be made from all the little like molecules and the way they fit together. So that's why these alkaloids will work on your brain. But what I'm saying is, like, it takes time for them to build up to like a critical mass where they'll do something. But the problem with that is it can also inhibit your plants. If it is allelopathic, or allelopathic.
Allelopathic. See, I'm learning all this. I'm taking it all in. I'm listening. Don't you worry.
Well, I've had basically people saying to me, "No, it's not. What you're saying is just it's presupposition. You're just assuming. There's no evidence." But like I say, I sent you the paper afterwards because it was like, I'm very like within the hobby. It's important that I tell people the truth. Like, I can't stipulate to people how important it is that I pass you on the truth or tell you the source of that information. Do you know what I mean?
It's on paper. How much more facts can it be?
Yeah.
There's papers wrote up about it for you to research to when you're doing your assignments and stuff regarding it when you was doing your degree and whatnot. So why would you go against what it's not supposed to say and what it's...
I think, like, it used to frustrate the hell out of me because I'd go into a lab and I'd be talking, doing like a supervision, and I'd say to my supervisor, so they said, and they'd be like, who's they? You need to stop, who are they? I need to know who they are. You need to give me your names. So give them. And they got, they don't know what they're talking about, mate. And I'm just saying, but all I'm saying is they said this. I'm like, don't care. You need to go and get better sources. And you're like, God. But the funny thing about it is, like, my mate was a flat earther, when I was in uni. And he thought he had me because he was like, so, okay, if the Earth's flat, I've been emailing this professor from the University of Liverpool in astrophysics, and he won't reply to me. So there must be something in that. And I said, listen, mate, I'm paying my supervisor £9,000 a year in tuition fees, and he won't answer my. Sorry, he won't answer my flipping emails. So you've got no chance, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't take that as he's being clever. He's like,
he won't
I
reply
can't get my
because
emails answered by these people because they're so busy at conferences and lectures and
that's what happens when you
research.
stump someone and they can't come back to you with any physical hard evidence.
Yeah,
because it's not true. Because the world
that's the
is
thing,
round,
isn't it?
not flat.
Yeah, but I was like,
Hence why we have gravity and a moon.
moon. He said to me
Moon.
one day, okay, prove the moon landings existed. And I was like, well, you want the moon landings not to exist. Obviously, we're massively going off topic here, but just so you feel better about yourself, so you feel special because you know something different to everyone
Yeah.
else. I said, but the Russians, the whole thing, you need to understand the whole thing. The Russians and the Chinese, it was basically capitalism versus communism. Do you know what I mean? The whole Cold War, Vietnam, space race was all a battle of
Yeah.
the political systems. So these have got this vested interest to prove that America can't do it. So Russian telemetry tracked the Saturn V rocket to the moon, and the guys coming back. And the Chinese sent a camera up there and took photos of the landing site. So
They did.
they've got a bit more of a vested interest in proving America wrong. Do you know what I mean? And they couldn't prove America wrong, so you got no chance.
It's always been a case of he said, she said, it was done in the studio. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was. We have proof. No, you don't. Where's the proof? It's right. Jeff says homework is a superpower plant.
It definitely is.
Man, yes, it does. It does serve a purpose. Really good if you've got fry in your tank as a floating plant.
Oh yeah.
I have it with my Ludwigia. I have no problem with either one.
Jeff's got the best Ludwigia weapons I've ever seen, apart from mine.
Oh, we've still got with us then, guys. Who's still with us apart from me and Keith?
And Jeff.
Have you got any questions, guys? For either?
Probably going to say stop talking over Rob, Keith, but I'm getting overexcited.
I was overexcited when King of DIY. I was going to couldn't even get my words out.
Listen, if you're ever in Hull, Joey, you pop around for your dinner.
He asked me where I'm based. I'm like, do you want to come and do a visit? I was getting straight in there, Keith. I was like, do you want to come and do a visit? I'm only 2 hours from London.
The thing is, Joey's that big that, like, all he has to do is mention your name in one of his videos and you get 60,000 subs.
A lot of people come along. A lot of people, he's got such a big following. Well, he's kind of one of the OGs, isn't he? He's been here since day dot.
Yeah, like he was I won't be able to say this right, but him, Dustin, and there was a few of them, and like I could sit down and tell you them all off the top of my head, but they were YouTube fish keepers before there was such a thing as YouTube fish keepers. They were just And Joey always says didn't have any subscribers, but if it wasn't subscribed, I was watching from like
same.
From the video where he done that the setup of the the self-changing water change system and the DIY overflow. If you go on the Instagram, there's actually a picture of one of them in the saltwater tank, and it overflowed while I was in uni, flooded, like put 400 litres of salt water on the floor, and then I was like, I haven't managed to do that. I went back, and Joey said, "Don't use that size pipe. Use the bigger one." And that's why it overflowed. He literally said in his video, "Don't use that one because it'll overflow."
Yeah.
And it's been that long since I've watched the video, I forgot.
I've got so much because I've been doing a lot of live and going on people's lives. I've got a lot of catching up to do. I've got so much to watch. I watched him over the years. Sometimes he has only one with information or something I was thinking of doing. Him. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's easy to take shots at Joey, isn't it? And criticize
Yep.
him, but the
We're all
guys,
human at the end of the day.
the guys in Canada, and the guy, was stood in his garage in the middle of winter in Canada when it was like minus
Nobody ain't
ridiculous.
going to do that. Are you crazy?
And
Yeah, exactly.
building tanks to show people how to build tanks. No, come on, he needs some sort of recognition for that, doesn't he? You know what I mean? Like, how many people have
It
been
put a lot.
committed
It
to
worked out
spending that
behind the
much money?
scenes.
Exactly.
What it is, Keith? People don't see the hard graft. Some of his videos could take weeks to put together.
Like I was saying last night when he was in the sky, remember, like, them stacked tanks he had, they were like 7 foot or something, or 700 liters.
Yeah, that's right.
Or
Yeah.
something. And there was something about them that like captured my imagination, and they've always
It
been my
captured my
favourite tank.
imagination. It was very
Like,
attractive. It was
wow.
very drawn. I was very drawn to it as well.
But what do you call it? Didn't he nearly cut his hand off doing it? Nearly cut his like finger off on the
Yeah, he
glass.
did a big slice on it. Yeah, I remember it. It was a bit. It wasn't no small cut.
Yeah, and he said mentioned it about 6 months later, and he went, "I didn't miss a video." Like, and you're like, "Come on," you know. And these guys are using him to get cheap subs, criticizing him.
Yeah.
But the thing,
I have a
that's the thing
question.
about. Go on,
I have
mate.
a question. It's a bit of a, it's not really aquatic, but it is. What is your biggest bugbear in the hobby?
I've got quite a few, but to me, we talking YouTube wise or in general?
I'll go general.
My biggest bugbear in the hobby is people not doing the research. Excuse
Yeah,
me, but
100%.
then pretending they're experts.
If you're going to keep the animal, why not research it and give it a loving life, not just a part-time life?
Like, was it Mark's Fish Tanks was talking about drip acclimatizing, and someone said to him in the live or whatever it was, you don't need to drip acclimatize it. And Mark's
Yeah.
sometimes was like, hang on a minute, mate. Like, I'm
Yes, you
stood in
do.
this shed. I'm stood in this room all day. What difference does it make to like just do it? I'm here all day. I can take as long as I want, and you know nothing's going to go wrong. But the other way around, you potentially cause
Yeah.
yourself problems when there's no need to cause problems. Like, why not just do something? It's not a massive chore, is it? To put a bit of hose and a bit of airline, like an air stone on, and a little tap on the
No,
bottom and do it.
it's not hard to do a little bit of research of the right way and the wrong way, is it? At the same time,
No,
it's my biggest bugbear as well. People not researching, just just seeing a fish and being like, "Oh, that looks so colourful," and then they go to
yeah,
Pets at Home. They buy a generic tank with all the stuff, comes with plastic plants. They put the tap water in with no treatment whatsoever. Loads of fake flood because the fish will be hungry because it hasn't been fed today. And then the next day, the fish are dead.
yeah. That's one of Father's Fish's videos I was watching, and it was like there was a pleco one, I think it was, and this guy was like,
I
"When
have
I get
seen it, yeah.
plecos, I don't feed them for a week," and I was like, or a month or something. And I was like, "What? Hang on a minute." And
I
then I
don't mind,
researched
Keith.
it, and I was like, "Wow, what's that?"
Start by starving a pleco. Its feed
Yeah,
response is immense in the second month. I've raised
is it?
plecos without feeding plecos. Basically, I put a full clutch of 52 snow white plecos into a heavily dated tank, and for that month I didn't feed them. Within that month, the tank was pristine, apart from lots of pleco poop. But the plecos all grew about to 3 centimeters from about 1.5 centimeters.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, that like
I've also raised Corridorus stareby without feeding them brown shrimp. The Corridorus you've seen in my tank, all them was actually raised via that tab him in food, just crushed.
yeah,
It's not stunted the growth. They're just pristine. So I've done a lot of little tests and tricks of like, because you can't always have your brown shrimp. Which reminds me, I've got to harvest again, so I'll come back here. I'll just do that right
I've got
now.
to set, I've got to set mine back up.
I'm here. Don't worry, I'm here. So carry on.
So what's that doing? Like, do you know what? Like, going back to talking about challenging ourselves, like you and Glenn were pushing me to get into Carolina, and I was thinking, well, I already know how to do the water. You know, it's basically the same as doing salt water, isn't it? And then
Yes, this is it.
I've done acidic tanks before, so I'm not challenging myself there really. And if I'm putting content out, making out that I'm doing something that I've already done, and like it's a false economy for me. I'm showing people stuff that I've already done. So I was thinking, well, what can I do in it that's different? And then I was watching Mark Trim Tank's videos, and he was like, I bought this mix tank, and then he pulled a few like crystal shrimp out of the mix.
Yep.
And he was like, I'm gonna get some crystal shrimp off my mate, and I'll set up a colony. And I was like, hang on a minute. And then the more I listened to you and Glenn, I was like, and you were like, well, these through crystal reds, crystal blacks, and blue bolts. And I'm like, so this can actually happen, can't it?
It can.
And then I thought, that's how I want to challenge myself. I'm going to get into Carolina. That's the challenge. I want to start off with one mix tank and create a whole line of my own shrimp from it. That's the challenge, isn't it? For me,
It is a challenge. It is a. I personally see shrimp and Carolina shrimp as a little bit more advanced hobby because you're going into new depths of water.
Yeah.
It's not just straight from a tap. You can do that if you're lucky like yourself. You can keep your tiger, a lot of your tiger species, your wild type tigers, and your royal blue and tiger orange eyes. You can keep them.
But the thing is, I don't really feel like I'd be testing myself with the water because I've already done reverse osmosis water with, and then obviously you mineralize.
There's not much you don't know about water.
Well, there's only so much you can learn about water, isn't there? There's only
water at the end of the day.
Well, when you buy a test kit, if you understand what the ammonia does and the nitrite and nitrate and the pH and the GH and the KH, once you know all that, there's only so many different ways you can mix it up realistically, isn't there? And then obviously you can get into like copper and testing iron and stuff. But realistically, there's only so many ways you can mix it up, isn't there?
I mean, when people get a test kit and they see GHA, for instance, it scares them. Or they say, if they don't know, for instance, if they don't know what this represents, why are they testing it? Do your research, learn what this means, learn what NH1, 3, blah, 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 the NH2, NH3. What's the purpose? This is the test kit I use for the lower GH, the Serra. pH. This is 4. It goes as low as 4.
That's really acidic, that, isn't it?
It's 4 to 7, so it's the best indicator. This one. I mean, it's a little bit pricey, but you don't need to over test. Why do you need to test the water? What you've actually just mixed to the correct mineralization, GH, KH, blah blah blah, pH for the soil. Why do you need to test it when it's all been done? And this is where people get scared with Carolina. A lot are put off by it, but once set and forget. Once your tank is set up to the perfect parameters, forget about it. Let it just age. Let it do its thing, and watch them shrimp thrive.
Well, this is the thing. Like when I was doing the saltwater tanks, at first I was like, "There's a lot to do. You have to purify the water, and then you have to add, like, I think it was a kilo of salt to 25 litres of purified water to get to 1.025. So I did all that, and then I got into the HPS corals, and it was like you need to add magnesium, calcium, and the alkalinity buffer. So then I'm there, and I'm like, and the guy in the fish shop said to me, make sure it's bang on 1500, the magnesium first. So, okay, he said, there's no point doing the other two until you've done that. So I got up to 1500. Then the calcium, I got that up to 500 because calcium's got to be a third. the magnesium, and then to balance that, you needed an alkalinity of 10.6.
That's right. Yeah.
So I set all that up, got it all bang on. But then I was testing every day, and I was like, and it was dropping, and it was coming up, and I was like dosing like 60 mils every day.
Yeah.
And in the end, I was like, hang on a minute, I am dosing 60 mils a day of alk. I'm dosing like 20 mils a week of calcium, for instance, and I'm dosing, say, like 10 mils a month of magnesium. So I went back and I said to the guy in the shop, listen, like, does this make sense to you? And he was like, yeah, because you're using them in equal parts. And I was like, he was like, you don't have to test your water anymore, just add that. He said, then once a month, test them.
That's all you need to do. I'm a monthly tester. I religiously do it. I do sometimes go through a phase where if I have too much on at that time or too much is happening in the fish room, I do sometimes skip them because I can personally look at that tank, have a little sniff, and know that that's just my own little weird way. But kind of like my senses know. Shrimp tell you a lot when the water is off because they're non-existent. Yeah. They're very slow. When you see movement in a shrimp tank and you've got to zoom in, you know you've done it right. I mean, it's people are put off by this. How can you go wrong remineralizing RO water when it comes with this or this 5 mil for every 10 liters? You've got your GH of 5, your TDS of 150. You don't technically need that.
No.
But they are a good bit of kit to have. Just in case you skip a month. I mean, if I want to test a tank, if I want to know what's in a tank and there's too much and all sorts, I go in this tank and I'll test. If that's telling me 600, I know that water has got a lot of crap in it. Way too much.
That's what I'm saying, Rob. Is like when I done all that with all the saltwater stuff, and then I figured out that I'm dosing these things in equal amounts every month, and then you just go on autopilot then. Like through these complicated things, and it just like drove me mad from like a month, thinking like, what am I doing, trying to get me head back. And within a month, all I did was like every day it was just 60 mil, and then 20.
No worries, Charlotte.
No worries. And then like 20 mil calcium a week, say, and then magnesium, 10 mil a month or whatever it was. I had it all dialed in, dosed it all. That was it, done.
Hello, Craig. Craig's in the house.
He's the man, the myth, the legend. Right. Them kangaroos that look like deers on steroids.
I was telling Craig he needs to take his fish keeping. If he could sort his lease out in his property, he could go next level.
Yeah.
Him and Jeff have got so much space. I don't know why Jeff, for instance, if I had Jeff's basement, I'd have a big indoor pond. I'd have a warm water and a cool water koi. I'd have predatory fish.
I've always wanted gator gars. Is it the alligator gars or the Florida gars that can live outdoors in the UK?
What's that?
Is it the alligator gar or the Florida gar can live outdoors in the UK?
Florida. Florida's the smaller one, is it not? It's the more. But the alligator gar, I'm not sure where that comes from in America.
But it's definitely I definitely have one of them in a pond. But that's what I'm saying.
Go on, Keith.
What I'm saying is like out there, what you call it, with the Carabiner, I know within like a month of playing with the water, I'd know what needs to be done, and you just do it automatically.
Yeah.
But with the goldfish, like my attention to details like ridiculous, because I'm so experienced at it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can tell just by looking at the water what the nitrates you breathe and stuff.
Yeah.
I can't do it, like for some reason I can never do it with tropical tanks, but cold water.
Cold water is very different. Yeah, you can. I agree there. Totally agree there with the cold water compared to a tropical. I mean, I don't keep a lid on some tanks, and then tanks that I don't keep a lid on give off no smell. Oh, we're back.
What happened there?
What happened there?
It's just a blip, didn't it? Is the chat still there?
Hello?
You there, Rob?
I don't know what's happened.
Can you hear me? It's saying I'm live for 20 seconds.
I can hear you now. I can hear my own voice.
Yeah.
But I can't hear you.
I can hear you.
Hang on, let me try something.
Can the guys in the chat hear us? What do you know, Rob?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
No.
I can hear
I can very quietly. It's split. Can you hear my voice twice?
No.
What do you want to do, Keith? Do you want to end this and go again, or do you want to call it a day?
Can you hear me?
Can't hear you, mate.
I don't know.
Keith, we'll cut this and restart it. Go get yourself a drink and we'll come back. All right, bye guys. Be back soon.